We're cutting into the king of all steaks. We're cutting into the filet mignon. We're cutting into a buttery, melty, yummy, hot filet mignon. And that roasted garlic herb butter is just melting into every nook and cranny. This is a spectacular eating experience. We are going to provide you with 10 5-ounce fillets, a tub of the roasted garlic herb butter, and a packet of the Rastelli signature seasoning. All of this is from the Reserve collection, the Black Label collection. This has been aged for 45 days. It is so tender you can cut it with a fork. This has been extraordinary. Since midnight last night, we've taken orders for over 24,000 sets. In this show alone, over 10,000 have been ordered. This is Ray Rastelli, our own personal butcher. He's also been a butcher for now 47 years this week.
This week, yes.
This week was your anniversary. And so we're excited to be able to bring you these incredible steaks. You and I have presented these now. This is the third time in the show. I never get tired of this. You were kind enough to send a lovely sample to me. I had these for dinner Friday night. I'm having for dinner again tonight. They are amazing. Don't miss out on this opportunity because you're going to pan sear it on top of the stove and finish it in the oven. I put it in the oven for 5 minutes at 400 degrees and they were perfect.
And every one, David, will be consistent because they're Black Angus. They're a reserve collection, which means only 4% of all cattle actually qualify for this quality. They have been completely trimmed from one end to the other. There is zero fat, and they are 45-day aged. And what the aging does, David, is we know it makes it tender. It makes it flavorful. But look at the moisture inside of there. That natural aging process just keeps it all in. That's why this is an eating experience. This, trust me, I guarantee every bite will be tender, every bite will be juicy and full of flavor. And whether you grill it or whether you do it in an air fryer or you do it in your oven or in a skillet, how I'm going to do it in a minute or two, I promise you, your guest will be more than excited and you will be the star of the show that day.
Oh my word. Can you imagine serving these for your beautiful holiday dinner, a little surf and turf? Whatever the case may be, we're going to make it really, really exceptionally wonderful for you. Don't miss out on this opportunity, and everybody is ordering their steak now. What you want to do is think about when we're having these shipped. Now remember, we can ship these either immediately, November 13th, or December the 11th. Now, if you want to do it November 13th, I only have 6,200 remaining. If you want December the 11th, that's well over half gone for the day. And so that means it's time for you to make your choice. And remember, at retail, this, if you were to buy it separately, would be $338. That would include everything we're including today. What we're going to do is make this available for you at only $159.98 and on Easy Pay. You apply for a Q card today and get approved, and we're instantly going to take $40 off your price. What?
That's amazing.
Yeah. So you can save another $40 if you apply for a Q card today and get approved, because that $40 can be applied instantly to any item. That's what makes this incredible. Please don't miss out on this. It has been wildly popular since midnight last night. In this show alone, well over 10,000 steaks, or sets of steaks, have been ordered. Historically, since we first brought these steaks, or filet mignons to QVC, 3.6 million Rastelli fillets have been sold.
That's a lot of steaks to cut and trim by hand,
And
David.
this year alone, already over 1 million.
Yes.
And then add to that another 24,000 ordered today. 24,000 sets. That
Yes.
doesn't count individual steaks.
That's another 240,000 if
That's
my
another
math
240,000 steaks right there. So what we're looking at is an amazing opportunity for you. Mr. Rastelli, let's cut into one more of these, and then we'll go over to the butcher block.
Sure. And again, what you're going to notice is there is zero fat on these steaks. It's the way you would get it in a great steakhouse, because this is the same steak that goes into that great steakhouse. I mean, look at how beautiful. You'll notice no fat. You'll just notice the buttery flavor. Look at that.
And that's garlic butter.
And David, we've cut into hundreds of steaks today. Everyone is exactly the same. You would think
they're exactly perfect.
Yes, each and every
And you're
one
looking
of
at
them.
the seasonings. You're looking at the herbs melting from the butter. the roasted garlic, which takes on more of a nutty flavor. And Mr. Rastelli, while you run to the butcher block, I'm going to get myself a bite.
Okay.
Because you know that's what I do.
Of course. And David, you know it's about starting on the farm, right? That happens to be my farm. There are 600 Black Angus cattle out there right now that we're raising for these programs. And the reason we do that is because we stay close to the farmers. These are farmers and ranchers that I've worked with for 47 years. That's important. It's important for me to know who my partners are, who my ranchers are, because I want that cattle to be in the most plush green pastures. I want the feed to be natural. I want the cleanest water for those cattle to be utilizing. And this is why you get the finest beef when you look at Black Angus Reserve. And again, Reserve, only the top 4% of all cattle are going to actually qualify for this. And of course, when we get it to our facility, we've got to age it. So I brought with me today a whole tenderloin of beef. And this is something that most people don't see because they've never seen what a whole tenderloin looks like, but there are 2 of these on every steer. Now you're going to notice a lot of fat, and it's covering this tenderloin because we want it to stay covered while we age it. So we leave it covered for 45 days. We age it in our aging rooms, and of course, after the aging process, we then trim it like this. Now, because the fat stays on it before the aging, it keeps the moisture inside of this filet mignon. As we trim it, you're going to notice there is no fat. We cut the tail off, we cut the head off, and we're going to give you a most incredibly perfect steak. And I want you to see what each of these steaks look like. They're nice, thick steaks. I want you to see the beautiful marbling inside of that steak, right? You're not going to see any fat on this steak whatsoever, not on one side, not on the other side, but what you're going to get is you're going to get a great eating experience. The same experience that if you went to a great steakhouse and paid market price, unfortunately, not what it is today. So this is very, very special.
All right, you're going to bring that steak over,
Yep.
and I have heated your pan up. I'm melting a little butter in here
Oh,
for
that
you.
works. We're going to throw a little bit of rosemary
A little
in there.
rosemary in
Right.
there to give it some extra flavor. I'm going to pick up some rosemary on the way home.
Yes, and getting it nice and hot really going to give us a nice sear. Always get your steak to room temperature, and of course, I like putting that seasoning right on top of that steak
Once it's
before I
at
put
room
it in.
temperature, it takes the seasoning better.
Exactly, it'll take the seasoning better, and if I put the seasoning on top and not on the bottom, it won't burn. Right? So we're going to let that sear for a minute or 2, and that's all that it'll take. We've got nice high heat. We've got that butter inside there, and of course the butter, that's the basting agent that we're going to be using. So we just take that beautiful garlic herb butter.
Hot butter.
Look at that, just right on top. And what we're doing is we're actually getting that butter to melt right through that filet mignon.
Because remember, this is a very porous steak. So
Yes.
when we pour hot butter on top of it, we're not just basting the outside, it's drinking that butter up.
Great way to put it. It is just drinking it. Yes.
Drinking it all in, and it's going down into every nook and cranny of that steak. So when you cook it with the garlic herb butter. Oh, so lovely.
And in about
look at this, and that was a minute.
It's about a minute. That's about all we need, a minute. And again, I'm going to do some basting here. We've got that beautiful rosemary in there, and that just adds a little bit more flavor, a little smell to that. But again, as you mentioned, David, this just drinks up this butter. So when 2 minutes is finished, we're done searing. So now we're going to take this and we're going to put this in the oven. And this will go in an oven at about 350 to up to 400. Right. And all it's going to take is about 5 minutes. So here we're going to go.
Let's see if we have a pellet here.
There you go. Be careful. That's good in the hot.
It's very hot.
Yep. So we go there. We're going to put a little bit more butter in.
Oh, you want to put a little bit more?
I'm going to put a little more right on top. Just right on top.
Oh,
you can take that out there.
Okay,
there you go. Right.
Let me turn it this way.
Perfect. So I'm going to put that butter right on top because that butter is going to melt right into that.
I'm going to put that hot pan back here so no one gets burned.
Yes. So you can see how beautiful this steak is. Look how thick it is. You're going to notice.
Okay, and we're coming in tight because this is the shot I want you to see. We affectionately call this the butter cam.
Yes, we do.
Look at that shot. Now that is a perfectly prepared steak, seared on either side on top of the stove, finished in a 400-degree oven for about 5 minutes or so.
And look at that butter.
Look,
just soaking.
It's just water falling down the side. Mr. Stell, you want to cut into that
I
bad boy?
think we're going to have to cut right into the center of this. And let's see what this looks like once we cut into this beautiful thick steak with all that butter.
Oh, beautiful medium rare. Look at the butter, it's just melting down the sides.
Now, if we let that rest about the 5 minutes we should have, David, this would have cooked about another 10 degrees. It would have been more of a medium. And the reason I asked you to let your steak rest is because all this moisture will stay inside your steak.
Look at that. Where you see juice, you see flavor. And where you see glistening, you see melted butter. And where you see black specks, oh, that's part of the seasoning. And the herbs from the butter that are melting into your steak. If this doesn't make your mouth water, I'm not sure what else we can show you. Thank you to our folks in the control room for doing an incredible job illustrating just how beautiful these are.
And David, we've cut many steaks today. Every one is perfect. I want you to see every slice. So take a look at how every slice will be the same. Every slice can actually be cut with a fork. You don't even need a knife.
And then I love how Mr. Rastelli pushes it down into the drippings, because remember, these are like little sponges.
Yes.
And they will pull all of that dripping up, and then we hit it with maybe a little more of the signature seasoning.
A little bit of that seasoning. And
maybe a little more butter, who knows?
Yep, and this is so tender. Look, just, here we go. Right through that with a fork. And we can do that with every single piece of filet that we've touched. Oh, there you go, David.
Pan butter.
Oh my goodness.
Little the pan butter.
Now that's decadent.
I am not playing. If we're going to do it, I'm going to go big or go home.
There it is. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is.
Okay. Now I'm going in, but I will, this first of all, cuts with a fork. Now here comes, I barely have to chew this. It melts in my mouth. This is an extraordinary steak experience. You've had what you think is good steak before, or you've not had Rastelli?
No.
Wait until you've had this, and then come back and tell me about your steak experience. It's going to be elevated by about 1,000 times. This is so incredibly tender and tasty and beautiful. Pair this with whatever you like to pair your steak with, and you got a beautiful meal for the holidays. Are you ready for a big number, Mr. Rastelli?
Yes, sir.
Big number. Today, 25,000 steaks, sets of steaks have been ordered. In this show alone, now over 11,000.
Thank you.
If you want November 13th, I have 6,000 left. If you want December the 11th, I have 10,000 left. And these will hold in your freezer for a year.
That's
and they're
right.
individually packaged. And we do have them right here. This is what they look like when they come to you. So take a look inside this box, because each of your steaks are vacuum sealed.
Each vacuum seal, and that's so important because that locks in all the freshness, keeps out all the bacteria. So as you mentioned, David, 12 months in your freezer, this will hold up. Now, if you pull it out of your freezer and you put it in your refrigerator to thaw it out, and you don't get to it till the next day or even up to 10 days, it's okay. It's as fresh in that vacuum package as it is when we put it in there. But we've aged it for 45 days first. David, I want you to try. So we've got our special steak sauce. This is a steak sauce that we create. We've had this in our home.
It's a companion purchase.
It's a companion purchase, but it's something that we've added here so our folks at QVC, and they've loved it so far. But it's something, if you're a steak sauce person.
I am a steak sauce person.
This is got a molasses based. It's just, it's got a little bit of sweetness, but really savory, and something that...
that's melted butter dripping off there, in case you were wondering.
We've been doing it years at home,
Rastelli.
and finally he said, gotta bring that. So, and the QVC is the only place that we can get that steak sauce, nowhere else.
And you get a set of 2.
Yes, you get a set of
So check with your operators about it. It will make you do the happy dance.
There you go.
There it is. Come on now. Oh my word, these are amazing, and this whole eating experience is something not to be missed. Please don't let this opportunity pass you by, because the deal is done at 11:59 tonight.
Yes.
That is if we make it that far.
If we make it.
There's a great big gourmet holiday show coming up at 5 o'clock. I'm not sure what's coming at 4. Is it Lock and Lock? Hour of Lock and Lock at 4. So you have a little bit of a break.
Yes.
And then we're going to be right back at it. So if you are looking to pick this up and there's a ship week you know you must have, now is the time to get it. Let's go to our phone lines, because Vicki in Texas have been waiting patiently. Vicki, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing very well. Please meet Ray Rastelli.
Hi, Vicki.
I'm Ray.
Pleasure to meet you.
So talk to us.
Pleasure to meet you.
Are you a longtime Rastelli meat lover, or is this your first time?
This is my first time to order the steaks, but I have had Rastelli's meat before.
Wonderful. So which ship we